Hello, so today I'm going to do a YouTube tutorial on this makeup. This will be my first ever YouTube tutorial, like proper YouTube tutorial. Yeah, I hope you all enjoy. So I've already done my cleanse, tone and put my serums on, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Hydrating Primer, and I'm going to pop that all over my face. Now, I like to pop it on my hand and then use a brush to apply it. So I'm using one of my brushes, the Chloe Allen brush, and it's CE4. So I'm just gonna dab it on the back of my hand and then apply it all over the face. Like so. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get so I'll start off with the eye makeup first, just because then if there's any fallout from eyeshadow, then I can just wipe it off and not ruin any of the foundation. So I always start with my eye makeup first, then I go on to the foundation. So I'm starting with the NARS concealer, and this is the Soft Matte Concealer in shade Vanilla, and I'm going to pop that all over the eyelid. Now the brush I'm using for this again is another one of my brushes, which is the Chloe Allen brushes, and this one is number CE9. It's like a flat concealer brush. So I'm just going to get it out the pot and then pop it all over the eye. And you basically just want to carve your eyebrow as well. Okay, so once I've put the concealer on both the eyes, I'm then going to go in with my eyeshadow. Now the palette I'm using today is the Doll Beauty Mud Pie and Mochaccino's palette. And the first colour I'm going to go in with is Peach Fancy, and that's just sort of like a quite nice light pinky peach colour. And the brush I'm going to use again is another one of my brushes, and it's the CE7 brush, which is like the medium sort of blending brush. I'm just going to basically go along the crease and just smoke it out in the corner, in the outer corner of the eye. I like to blend my makeup upwards because obviously it then lifts the face. You don't want to be blending downwards, otherwise it's not going to look good. I'm just going to blend it up into the eyebrow. Now my eyebrow here, I accidentally, when I was waxing my own eyebrows the other day, I accidentally waxed off too much of the tail, so I'm left with half an eyebrow, which is fabulous. So once you've sort of blended that into the sort of shape and position you want it to go in, I'm then going to get another one of my brushes, and it's going to be the CE6 brush, which is the slightly bigger blending brush. I'm not going to put any product on it, and I'm just going to go over the top and where the edges are of the makeup we've just put on. I'm just going to blend it out so it makes it even more softer. If you do makeup, you'll probably spend about 90% of the time blending, so you do have to have a lot of patience because it does involve a lot of blending, but it is worth it in the end when you've got nice makeup. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a slightly darker shade in the palette, which is Cherry Pie, and we're going to add that into the far corner of the eyes. I'm using the CE8 brush of the Chloe Allen brushes. I'm just going to tap it in. And it'll look weird at first, but obviously once you've blended it out, it'll then all come together. And then going back in with the CE7 brush, I'm just going to lightly blend it into the other colour. Okay, so once we have popped the eyeshadow on, I'm then going to get the Peaches and Cream glitter base. I'm just going to pop a bit on the back of my hand like so, and I'm just going to get my finger and just dab it into the glitter base. And then using that finger, I'm going to just dab along the eye. Now I'm going to do the inner corner of the eye because that's where I'm going to be applying the pigment. So once I've dabbed that all in, it should be a little bit tacky on the eye. I'm going to get the Doll Beauty pigment, and this one is called Bon Bon. It's like a pinky sort of pigment. Ooh. And then getting another one of my brushes, this is the CE10 brush. I'm going to dab it into the pigment and then just dab it exactly where we've just put that glitter base. And we're just dabbing it all along the eye, taking it up as well so it blends in with the eyeshadow. Thanks for that. And then using the same brushes as before with the other eyeshadow on, I'd just like to go over and just sort of like blend that in to the glitter and just sort of like blend it all together so it's not so separate, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to create a line just along the waterline. So I'm going to go in with Mud Pie, which is like the dark brown mixed. In fact, no. Mochaccino is the colour we're going to go in with, which is sort of like a brownie colour. And we're just going to place that along the eyelash line. Oh, and the brush I'm using is CE11 brush. Again, it's another Chloe Allen brush. It's another CE11. It's the angled liner brush. Okay, now for under the eye, I'm just going to wipe away any sort of excess that's fallen under the eye. And then I'm going to go back in with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in shade Vanilla. With the same concealer brush as before, so the CE9 brush. And I'm just going to place that all under the eye. And then because we have put the eyeshadow to go upwards, I'm going to take the concealer and just sort of like gently pull that up as well. So now we've got a line there, but obviously we're going to blend it all out and then it's not going to be as harsh. But for now, just that we've got some concealer there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another brush. This is a Zoeva brush. This is a smudger brush. I think it's 226, this brush. And I'm going to go in with a dark cherry pie colour. And we're just going to smudge that in all along the waterline. And connect it to the other eyeshadow that we have put on. Like so. Then using the same brushes as before, so the CE7 brush, we're just going to gently get a bit of Peach Fancy and blend that bottom line out. And just blend that line there so it's not as harsh, but only really light. And again, going in with the bigger blending brush, the CE6, just unblend it all out so it's all nice and soft. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some pencil eyeliner. This is the MAC pencil eyeliner called Teddy. And I'm just going to go along the waterline. Okay, so now I'm going to pop some eyelashes on. Obviously I've only done one eye, so I'm just going to put the one eyelash on and then I will go away, do the other eye and then come back and do the rest of the face with you. So the eyelashes I'm using are the Chloe Ellen lashes, which are these lashes. The ones I'm using are the wifey ones. So I've already used these before, so I'm just making sure they're all clean because I've only used them once. So I'm going to reuse again because you can use them up to 20 times as long as you keep them nice and clean. So I'm just going to pop the glue along the lash band. And then I'm not going to stick it on my eye straight away, I'm just going to let it dry a little bit so then the glue then becomes tacky, and this is the easiest way to apply the eyelash because you don't want to pop it on straight away when the glue is still wet and it's sliding everywhere. So you just want to wait till it becomes a little bit sticky so then you can easily stick it into place. So now that it's dried a little bit, I'm just going to pop it over my lashes and I'm getting it as close to my own lash as possible, and using the Sexy Eyes lash tweezers, and then just gonna move it around to where I want it to be, and then pinch it to my own lash. Like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and do the other eye, and then I will come back and finish the rest of the makeup with you. Okay, so I've done both the eyes now. I haven't done the eyebrows yet because I normally do them last anyway. So now we're just going to go and do the rest of the makeup, so the face makeup, foundation, etc. So before I put my foundation on, because I want an extra glowy skin, I'm going to use the MAC Strobe Cream. This one's Pink Light Strobe Cream, and again I'm just going to do the same as what I did with the Armani primer, and I'm just going to get it on the back of my hand and then get the CE4 brush, same one that I used before, and I'm just going to blend that all over the face, making sure I concentrate on the cheekbones, tip of the nose, and just above the points of the eyebrow. Okay, now I'm going to use two foundations because I quite like to mix like two different types of foundations together. So I'm going to go in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and this one is shade number 6. Took me a while to find that then. And also the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation in shade Punjab. So, I haven't got the squirty lid on my NARS one, because I haven't swapped it with my one. But I'm also going to use the Chloe Ellen CE2 foundation brush as well to apply the foundation. So I'm just going to get it on the brush, and then I'm just going to dab it into the face, starting off on the cheeks first. And then I've just got the NARS one on at the moment. I've put all the NARS foundation on, and now I'm going to go in with the Luminous Silk. The NARS one is a bit of a lighter shade compared to the Armani Luminous Silk one. So, just to add obviously a bit more colour, I'm going to blob a couple of these. On the face, and then again going in the same brush, just dab it all in. Okay, so once I've done the foundation, I'm then going to go in with the cream contour. Now the palette I'm using is a Revolution Pro HD palette, and it's the cream contour one. I'm not sure if they still sell this anymore because I haven't actually seen it in a while, but this is the light medium one, and I'm just going in with one of my brushes again, the CE4 brush. Obviously it's a clean one this time, so it's not got all the primer on and the strobe cream, and I'm just gonna dab it in the palette and then basically dab it where I want it to go on my face. So on my face I tend to contour the cheeks, the forehead, and down the nose, and a little bit on the chin. So I'm going to start off with the cheeks. So just do just along the cheekbone. I like to dab it because if I start brushing it, you're going to move the foundation and the product underneath. So we just gently dab, and I don't go in with too much straight away because it's always better to add more product, and it's easier than it is to add more than to try and get rid of it. So I just dab it all along there, and I try and take it quite high into the temples as well. And then on my forehead I literally just dab along the hairline. But I don't want the light to get blocked, so I'm going to try and do it so you can still see. And then again, the same on the other side. And then just do two little sort of lines just like that. Nothing too much on the chin area, just to kind of thin it out a bit. Okay, now for the nose, I tend to put it on my nose first, and I just grab any old flat foundation brush and I just dab it in there and then sort of outline on my nose where I want it to be. So I do two little lines down the nose, so one either side. A bit underneath the nose. And then just a little bit across the nose there, so then it'll give me a little button sort of nose. And once I've obviously lined up where I want it to be, I then get the same brush that I was using for the other parts and just sort of dab it to blend it all out. The concealer that I am going to use is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, and this is in shade Vanilla. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put a little bit along the nose, so just in sort of like a point like that, and then just there. So that's where I'm going to place it, and I'm going to place it again on the other side in the same, but before I do it I'll blend this one out first. Now I'm going to use my Beauty Blender sponge. It's the Chloe Ellen sponge. I've wet it, so it was wet, towel dried it, and I've just left it to go nice and damp, because you don't want to be blending it with a dry blender because it won't work. So using the sponge, I'm then just going to dab it out. And I like to take it down my nose so that the nose is then contoured and it's in the shape that I want it to be. And I pull a couple of weird faces when I do this, especially with my mouth, and I don't know why. And then with this one, just blending it out upwards. Like so. And then again, same on the other side. Okay, so that's the concealer under the eyes done. I'm then going to pop a little bit on my forehead, just like that. And I'm also going to blend that out as well. Let's pop a little bit of what is left on the sponge just on the tip of the nose. And then I like to get a bit under the cheeks and then blend that out. Next, I'm going to go in with the powder, the baking powder. The one I'm going to use today is the Laura Mercier one, and it's the translucent powder. I'm going to apply this with my sponge still, so the same sponge I've just used to put the concealer on. Might just use the back of it though, so it's got nothing on it. I'm just going to dab it in, and I'm basically going to put it exactly where I've just put the concealer. So down the nose, and under the eye, and then going up here, like that. Same on the other side. So once we've had the baking powder on, I'm then going to just get a brush. This one is the Peaches and Cream PC27 brush. And we're just going to brush it all off the face. So now that's all off, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bronzer on. Okay, so the bronzer I'm going to use is the Doll Beauty bronzer. This is in shade Medium Deep. And I'm going to get another one of my brushes, so the Chloe Allen brushes, CE3. I'm just going to dab it in the bronzer. And then basically just going to put it on the cheekbone, dab it on, and then just sort of buff it up in towards the eye area. I'm going to put a little bit along the temple area going onto the forehead. A smidgy bit just along the nose. And then just a bit under the jawline, bringing it down into the neck. The blush I'm using is the Laura Mercier blush. and this is Rosé. Rosé, I think it's Rosé because it's got that thing on the E, so I'm pretty sure that means it's Rosé because that's how the wine's spelled. But that's all I know. And I'm going to use another one of the Chloe Allen brushes. This is the CE1 brush, so it's the big brush. The big powder brush of the pack. And I'm just going to dab it into the blush. And I'm basically just going to work at this part of the cheek very lightly, just blending it in and going in up into the temples. I don't want to put it here, I just want to put it here. And then a bit on the temples coming into the forehead. And the same on the other side. And then I'm also going to pop a little bit just along the nose, basically where I've just put the bronzer. So now we're going to go in with the eyebrows. I'm going to use the Revolution Pro Brow Gel on the eyebrows. I'm just going to brush that all in. Now because I waxed off this part of my eyebrow, I just need to draw it on with pencil. So I'm using the Revolution Pro pencil. I'm just going to make a little bit of a tail on the end. So it matches the other eye. There we go, that'll do. Now for lipstick, I'm going to use the NYX Natural Lip Liner, and I'm also going to use the Peaches one as well. This one is Punchline. So I'll go with the NYX one first and then I'll go over with the Peaches one. Now I've got the liner on, I'm going to use the Doll Beauty Golden Girl lipstick. And then I'm going to go over it with a gloss as well. Just dropped it. We'll pick that up later. And then I'm going in with the Blogged Doll Beauty gloss just over the top. Now I'm going to go in with some highlighter. The highlighter I'm going to use is the Illamasqua OMG highlighter. And I'm using the Chloe Allen CE5 brush. And to make the highlighter pop, I'm gonna just pop it in the one spot on the cheek, right on the apple of the cheek. And again, same with the other one. A little bit on the forehead. Tip of the nose. The Petite Eye Blender brush. a little small. I'm going to pop some on the inner corner of each eye. And just under the eyebrow. I finished the look with some setting spray. And that is your look complete. So I have curled my hair, and this is basically the finished look. If I was to go out, this is how it would be. I would curl my hair, obviously have my makeup like this, and yeah, this is the finished look. Thank you for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to help out my videos, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the next video that I do.